Alrighty, folks, it's time for a new response video. This time by Mr. Hulthen. He made a video called "The Next Mass Effect Has a Serious Villain Problem." I had never watched this video before, and seriously, this is the first time I made a response video before I watched the video, so it's truly a first-time watch. But anyway, please, I'm going to include a link to his video, to his original uncut video. Please give him a like button, and please give me a like button. Help our channels grow, and please and thank you and enjoy.
You may have heard the saying, the hero is only ever as good as their villain, and this is generally true for all of storytelling. A good villain isn't just some obstacle for the hero to overcome. The great villain, in my opinion, has to be something more. Generally speaking, these tend to be mirrors to the heroes themselves.
I must respectfully start to disagree here. Heath Ledger's Joker is a very cool, charismatic character. I loved the acting, but I wouldn't call him a good villain because it honestly feels like he is lucky. He gets lucky every step of the way. You know, for every step forward that Batman tries to take ahead of him, Batman and Commissioner Gordon and everybody else, for every one step they try to get ahead of him, he's already 3 or 4 steps ahead of them. You know, like there is another video I should probably make a response to. It's over, I think it's almost an hour long. Don't remember. But it points out the fatal flaw in the Joker's plans throughout the entire movie. And Bane in the next movie over has the same problem. The thing is super convoluted. It's a very convoluted and complicated plan. It's got over 100 steps. When was the last time you tried to make a plan and get it working, and it's only 5 steps long, and not have any one of those 5 steps go bad, go awry? You know, Joker's got over 100 plans, has over 100 steps in those plans of his, and none of them go awry, and they all fit perfectly. It's kind of stupid.
Representing the other end of the spectrum with goals that are the antithesis to the heroes. Scary villains tend to be unknowable, mysterious, with truths that are simply too much for the mortal mind to comprehend. They pull the strings and you barely see them until it's too late. They're Lovecraftian, if you will. Now, truly memorable villains tend to be inevitable, unstoppable, and nearly merciless in executing their plans. These villains are, as a lesson from the screenplay so eloquently put it, a ticking clock.
Thanks to Kim Jong-il's portrayal in Team America World Police, I can't help but think of it as the ticking clock, which is, you know, I find that funny. I'm sorry.
There is no stopping them, there is no avoiding them, you have to face them.
And it's still left a mystery. Why was Fat Sam there, left alive?
Clock. There is no stopping them, there is no avoiding them, you have to face them. Somehow, some way. And if you don't think that's terrifying, then I don't know what to tell you. As you may have already figured out at this point, all of these are the main ingredients to what makes the Reapers work so well. From the very start, the Reapers are presented as this enigma, and the Reaper we first run into, Sovereign, is first thought of as a Geth ship. However, all of this changes on the planet Virmire, and in what you could say is due to a happy accident, Shepard makes contact with their true enemy for the first time.
This is not good.
You are not Saren.
What is that? Some kind of VI interface?
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh. You touch my mind, fumbling in ignorance, incapable of understanding.
I do not think this is a VI.
There is a realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it.
I remember when I was playing Mass Effect for the first time all those years ago, more than a decade ago, 15 years ago? Good gravy, how time flies. The cold shiver that went down my back, the hairs on the back of my neck, I was frozen. I was terrified as soon as that metallic voice of Sovereign first started talking. Just, oh man, even today I get the chills. Very well made.
I am beyond your comprehension. I am Sovereign.
Sovereign isn't just some Reaper ship Saren found. It's an actual Reaper.
Reaper, a label created by the Protheans to give voice to their destruction. they chose to call us is irrelevant. We simply are.
The Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago. You could not have been there. It's impossible.
Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation. An accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die.
I remember there was a comment down below in the original video where this is the equivalent of a random nobody, an accidental person, picking up the phone when somebody else was supposed to answer it, and the evil overlord is on the other end, and it just so happens that he's bored enough to be willing to spend a few minutes chatting with you. And I love that analogy. It's perfect.
We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Your extinction is inevitable. We are the end of everything.
There is an entire galaxy of races united and ready to face you.
Confidence born of ignorance. The cycle cannot be broken.
Cycle? What cycle?
The pattern has repeated itself more times than you can fathom. Organic civilizations rise, evolve, advance, and at the apex of their glory, they are extinguished. The Protheans were not the first. They did not create the Citadel. They did not forge the mass relays. They merely found them. The legacy of my kind.
Why would you construct the mass relays, then leave them?
Oh, come on, Mr. Olthan. Why are you picking only the middle option? If and when I ever get around to playing Mass Effect ever again, I haven't played that game in at least 10 years. At least the single player. You know, Mass Effect 3 left me with so much hurt that it left me unable to play the campaign. And but I have played multiplayer many times since. And I did take a break from my hiatus of playing Mass Effect to play Andromeda when it first came out, but I was one of the as of 1 year after the 2017 release, I was one of the 5/7 of the players who had not finished the campaign because it was so badly written. Not unlike the masterpiece that was Mass Effect 1. But anyway, back to my original point. If and when I ever get to playing again, I will never again click the middle option unless I have to, because, well, I mean, unless I have, it's the only way to save somebody, because Mass Effect 3 removed the middle option, which was more of a neutral, get to the point sort of thing, not Renegade or Paragon, but Mass Effect 3 dropped the ball in countless ways. Anyway.
For someone else to find.
Your civilization is based on the technology of the mass relays. Our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire. We impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it.
They are harvesting us, letting us advance to the level they need, then wiping us out.
What do you want from us? Slaves? Resources?
My kind transcends your very understanding. We are each a nation, independent, free of all weakness. You cannot even grasp the nature of our existence.
Where did you come from? Who built you?
We have no beginning. We have no end. We are infinite.
See, this right here is why I immediately had a problem with the Starbrat when I first played Mass Effect 3. How long ago was that? That was, 12 years ago. No, 13 years ago. Yeah, 13 years ago. You know, he says that he controls the Reapers, and they are made, like, he controls them as if they don't have minds of their own. They're following his programming. And yet, here, Sovereign makes it clear that every Reaper is not part of a hive mind. They are each an individual, and they have minds of their own. They are so, what's the word, sentient in a robotic form, that they have effectively developed the emotion of arrogance. They are so arrogant that they think of themselves as gods. Basically, they have a serious god complex. And the war is to basically humble them in addition to destroying them. But Starbright completely screwed that all up and made them all just robots obeying the command of their one central boss. It's kind of stupid.
Millions of years after your civilization has been eradicated and forgotten, we will endure.
Where are the rest of the Reapers? Are you the last of your kind?
We are Legion. The time of our return is coming. Our numbers will darken the sky of every world. You cannot escape your doom.
You're not even alive. Not really. You're just a machine. And machines can be broken.
Your words are as empty as your future. I am the vanguard of your destruction. This exchange is over.
As arrogant as he is, I cannot deny that was a pretty damn scary and badass mic drop moment for him, for Sovereign.
The conversation with Sovereign is probably one of the most awe-inspiring moments in gaming history. Here you are, a squishy little human with their squishy little friends, getting trash-talked by a literal machine god.
Oh, hold on, come on, man. I hate it when YouTubers do that, when you other guys do that.
And with their squishy little friends, getting trash-talked by a literal...
Thank you. Sheesh, I always have to pause and rewind. You guys are trash and I banged your mind. Dude, that's mean and dirty. Come on, don't. Stop. You didn't have to throw in that last part.
Machine god. This one conversation is really the moment where the story goes from 0 to 100 real fast, because previously you were just chasing some delusional super agent terrorist, and now the clock just started ticking. The countdown has begun, and throughout the 3 games you frantically sprint through various missions and deal with powerful individuals and factions to find some way, any way, to stop the Reapers.
See, most people hate Mass Effect 2 because it feels like it derails from the story, but I disagree. I think we have to destroy another puppet of the Reapers, which is good. Focus on destroy the Collectors. But our journey has us, unfortunately, destroying lots of important, lots of mercenaries as well. And, of course, Tel Vazir, may she rest in peace. I loved her. Every time I was not only just killing mercenaries that we would badly need for the Reaper War, but, of course, there was also killing lots of the Blue Beauties, but, that's a side issue. But, yeah, that's my problem with Mass Effect 2. My inability to use diplomacy and convince everyone to come on, stop fighting me, and prepare yourselves because the Reapers are coming. The same way, what's his name, John Stark would tell everyone to brace themselves because winter is coming. Well, here the Reapers are coming, so help us out here. And no, not John, Ned Stark, sorry, to you Game of Thrones fans out there.
Even as Mass Effect 1 ends with Sovereign's destruction, Mass Effect 2 still has you thinking about the Reapers in the back of your mind. Every mission, every squad mate feels critical. On your first playthrough, you're at...
Oh, hold on.
Your mind. Every mission, every squad mate...
Oh, Jack, you've got the most beautiful eyes of all the human girls in the game. In fact, of all the female characters, she's got the prettiest eyes, most kissable lips. To the credit of her designer, you did a superb job creating a beauty.
Feels critical. On your first playthrough, you're at first not even sure the Reapers are still the main bad guys here. The Collectors are, an equally mysterious race. It's not until Harbinger starts to pop his ugly mug into your missions where you finally find out that the Collectors are but tools at the Reapers' disposal. And when you do find out what the Collectors truly are, it makes the Reapers even more terrifying than before.
That's a collector.
Of course, there's a few other problems I have with Mass Effect 2, and one of them is the fact that Miranda and Jack and certain other characters, they wear a little air mask for breathing, and that's it. You cannot have exposed skin in space. Come on, people. What was wrong with you? Mass Effect 1 was perfect in more ways than 1. Maybe not perfect. The gameplay, gunplay was crappy, but it acknowledged that in certain missions, the ones that involve a vacuum, like the moon surface, for example, everyone's got to wear a helmet, a fully sealed, vacuum-proof helmet. That included Liara, and Liara would wear, human armor because it fits her, and she's got to wear a mask. Oh man, my coughing problem never goes away. And yeah, it's bothersome.
Were they experimenting on one of their own?
EDI, I'm uploading the data from this terminal. See if you can figure out what they were up to.
Data received. Analyzing. The collectors were running baseline genetic comparisons between their species and humanity.
Are they looking for similarities?
I have no hypothesis on their motivations. All I have are the preliminary results. They reveal something remarkable.
And the way I saw it, Mass Effect 1 was us dealing with the Reaper's first puppet. Now we deal with the second puppet. And I made a hilarious 300 spoof of that. Ask me about it in the comments below.
A quad-strand genetic structure identical to traces collected from ancient ruins. Only one race is known to have this structure, the Protheans.
My God. The Protheans didn't vanish. They're just working for the Reapers now.
These are no longer Prothean, Shepard. Their genes show distinct signs of extensive genetic rewrite. The Reapers have repurposed them to suit their needs.
You'd think somebody would have picked up on this.
No one has had an opportunity to study a collector genetic code in this detail. I've already matched 2,000 alleles to recorded fragments. This collector likely descends from a Prothean colony in the Styx Theta cluster. But there are signs of extreme alteration. 3 fewer chromosomes. Reduced heterochromatin structure. Elimination of superfluous junk sequences.
The Reapers didn't wipe out the Protheans. They turned them into monsters and enslaved them. Still, they're working for the Reapers now.
So at least Garrus knows he has to put on a full space-proof suit. But unfortunately, Jacob, Miranda, Kasumi, and Jack, they're all out. And so, no, it's not just the women. Jacob as well, like I mentioned before. I think Thane is also guilty, but I rarely brought him along, so I don't remember.
And we have to stop.
The reveal that the collectors are actually repurposed Protheans is like a punch in the gut. This legendary mysterious race of supposedly benevolent beings have been forcibly turned into a ruthless species of drones that are now crafting a new Reaper through processing humans into a metallic goo. Now, as much as we can all agree here that the Reaper baby boss fight was pretty goofy, the idea is still incredibly disturbing.
I still liked the idea that the Reaper would, this future Reaper was going to look like a T-800. That was awesome. Like a Terminator 800 for those of you who are not familiar with the Terminator franchise, which would be a giant shocker. I don't remember how I felt at the big reveal that Mass Effect 2's main villain, the Collectors, were Protheans. I really don't, unfortunately. It was just not as iconic. Not that that was a bad thing, mind you, but still.
That the Reaper baby boss fight was pretty goofy, the idea is still incredibly disturbing. You're fighting the collective embodiment of hundreds of thousands of people, and you have to destroy it. But destroy it you do, and the game ends off on a shot that shakes you to your very core.
And I was really hoping that Mass Effect 3 would give us a choice about who we side with, Alliance or Cerberus. Either way, we would be fighting the Reapers. And I was really hoping that every Reaper would look different, just like in the ending of Mass Effect 2. But no, Mass Effect 3 went and made them all look exactly the same.
The reveal of thousands of Reapers descending on an unsuspecting galaxy.
Every one of them looks different. That's the first thing that caught my eye. I was thinking, cool, such distinct looks. They all have sort of the same crayfish design, but they all look different. And holy crap, we got our work cut out for us because there are so damn many of them. Oh.
At this point, the Reapers are the main threat. No more Sarens, no more corrupted Protheans. Now Shepard finally has to face them.
And of course, I saw the oh shit on loop. And of course, there's also, I don't know if you're going to bring this up or not. As I've told others before, the trailers all of Mass Effect 3's trailers, the marketing does not bring up Cerberus, ever. They bring up the Reapers. This is going to be the big Reaper war. And then Cerberus goes and hijacks 52 to 60% of the campaign. Outrageous.
But first, let's destroy a Batarian system to slow them down a bit. Jokes aside, as much as the
Jokes aside, I really do wish that a friend of mine, the former Arch Reaper N7, now he goes by Red Centurion, in his masterpiece story, it has some rather shitty moments, I admit. There are some parts I absolutely despise, but damn you for killing off Ashley, Josiah. Anyway, how do I put it? Well, yeah, at least 2 Reapers managed to reach the relay and got through. Holy crap, it's the end, but then suddenly the detonation happens and those Reapers are destroyed. It was a glorious moment. But anyway, I need a read. Oh, nice scum. That's...
Jokes aside, as much as the Arrival DLC wasn't really my favorite among the slew of memorable DLCs.
Oh, and Veyron 722 Skyhook. Why do you hate... I don't get it. I don't really have a problem with the Arrival DLC. It's not one of the worst ones.
There is one
one I hate is the one you love, which is the Shadow Broker DLC, and that's because I'm forced to kill my favorite Council Spectre. I wish Televizier's place was exchanged with that Jordan Bowes spot. That he had died and she had lived. I like Asari and I can't stand the Solarians.
Jokes aside, as much as the Arrival DLC wasn't really my favorite among the slew of memorable DLCs, there is one moment that shines, and that's the conversation with Big Daddy Reaper, Harbinger.
Shepard to Normandy. Joker, do you read me?
I am among those who believe that the DLCs should be saved, or at least the ones in Mass Effect 2, should be saved for after the main mission, not during. Yep, because they feel kind of, they feel like they're derailing the story if you play them in the middle. Whereas Mass Effect 3, it makes absolutely no sense. We'll talk about that later.
Shepard, you have become an annoyance. You fight against inevitability, dust struggling against cosmic winds. This seems a victory to you. A star system sacrificed, but even now, your greatest civilizations are doomed to fall.
It doesn't feel like a victory unless we actually destroyed 1 or 2 Reapers, which is what I was really hoping for. I was hoping the Reapers would come through, try to stop the asteroid, but it'd be too late. They die. At least 2, maybe 3 or 4, like in that story.
Your leaders will beg to serve us.
And I'm ashamed to admit it, but I agree with those who say that Harbinger does not sound anywhere near as intimidating as Sovereign. His voice is too soft.
Maybe we can't win this. But we'll fight you regardless. Just like we did Sovereign. Just like I'm doing now. However insignificant we might be. We will fight, we will sacrifice, and we will find a way. That's what humans do.
Know this as you die in vain. Your time will come. Your species will fall. Prepare yourselves for the arrival.
Now, the conversation isn't very long, and it doesn't hold the same terrifying weight as the conversation with Sovereign.
The dialogue feels very generic by comparison, that's for certain. But my personal problem, Mass Effect 3, it happens. That's the problem.
Will fall. Prepare yourselves for the arrival.
Mass Effect 3 royally screwed that all up. We're under house arrest.
Now, the conversation isn't very long, and it doesn't hold the same terrifying weight as the conversation with Sovereign. However, this time, it feels more personal. Harbinger sounds annoyed. It always knew Shepard was an obstacle.
Damn it, stop sending those messages. Come on, I want to read those.
Terrifying weight as the conversation with Sovereign. However, this time, it feels more personal.
Okay, just stop it. I did like
Harbinger sounds annoyed. It always knew Shepard was an obstacle from the very moment Sovereign was destroyed. But now they'd stopped the Reaper's plans not once, Not twice, but thrice. At this point, it felt like Harbinger was the main bad guy, the one in charge, the one who was Shepard's thematic rival,
Amen.
the other side of the coin. Mass Effect 3 starts and the galaxy is instantly burning. The Reapers are here, and as Sovereign promised, their numbers do darken the sky of every world. The situation feels impossible. You see Earth slowly but surely getting vaporized, and there's nothing you can do but run. Run to fight another day, to find a way to stop this before it's too late. Mass Effect 3 does an incredible job of setting up the story, because what do you do when you're faced with such overwhelming force that there really is no way to truly fight and nowhere to truly hide? Well, let me introduce Deus Ex Machina! To be frank with you, Mass Effect 3 is an incredibly frustrating game because while you can't help but love the setup, the stakes, and the tension that runs through the course of the game, they really drop the ball on the Reapers, man. They're still an overwhelming force and they're still terrifying in their methods, but they're not unstoppable anymore, and they're not unknowable anymore. The game desperately tries to keep up the mystery, especially with the final conversation Shepard actually has with the Reaper, the one on Rannoch.
Shepard.
You know who I am?
Harbinger speaks of you. You resist, but you will fail.
I wonder what he actually said. I want to know. It would have been nice. Oh man, it would have been nice to be able to hack into this guy's memory, this Reaper's memory, and hear what one Reaper said to another, what Harbinger said to his followers.
The cycle must continue.
What are you talking about? We stopped Sovereign and the Geth. We stopped Harbinger and the Collectors. We've earned a straight answer.
It is not a thing you can comprehend.
That honestly feels like a giant cop-out answer, though, and I got tired of those cop-out answers and then Starbrat. You know, I would take the cop-out answer over Starbrat's answer because Starbrat royally insults everybody's intelligence, and it was even worse, miles worse, when, believe it or not, for those of you who haven't played Andromeda, the Kett repeat the same lines, even though they have nothing to do with the Reapers. It's absolutely infuriating. Cop-out responses of, you won't understand, therefore I won't take the time to explain to you. Come on, cut that shit out.
We might surprise you.
You represent chaos. We represent order. Every organic civilization must be harvested.
It's been way too long since I've played. Does the camera really shake when this dead Reaper here responds or talks back? I don't remember that.
Every organic civilization must be harvested in order to bring order to the chaos. It is inevitable. Without our intervention, organics are doomed. We are your salvation.
I wish they would quit using that word salvation. Newsflash, you're killing me. You're not saving me. There is no salvation if you're destroying me.
You're killing everyone in the galaxy to save us?
The cycle must continue. There is no alternative.
Organics and synthetics don't have to destroy each other.
The battle for Rannoch disproves your assertion. Finish your war. We will be waiting.
Yet again, you're met with a brick wall. They are simply too impossible to understand.
In this case, they're kind of stupid too, because he just saw us make peace with the Geth. Like, the Geth stood down, now we're willing to talk, and he insists on finishing the war. The war finished 5 minutes ago, pal.
Yet again, you're met with a brick wall. They are simply too impossible to understand, and you're just a mortal, an insect. You represent chaos, they represent order. What order? Well, sucks to be you, because Mr. Destroyer here just left you on red. Not even when you seek the help of the Leviathans, the somehow still living creators of the Reapers, do you get a true explanation. It's only when you reach the final 30 minutes where the game reveals it all. Or rather, an intelligence reveals it all. The Star Child.
I need to stop the Reapers. Do you know how I can do that?
Please tell me you're not going to force me to listen to this thing ever again. Not. Please tell me you're not going to force me to listen to him.
Perhaps. I control the Reapers.
Oh, shut up.
They are my solution.
Solution? To what?
Chaos. The created.
I'm torn between, my little brother has resisted the temptation, not resisted the temptation. He has resisted my pleas to play this game for the first time himself. I saw the game on sale, the Legendary Trilogy, for $6. I bought it for him. He hasn't played it yet, but I'm torn between forcing him to suffer what I suffered and, how is it? Let's see, how do I put it? And installing a mod that lets him skip over this and just cut to the ending where he, makes his choice. Oh boy, I'm torn. Please tell me in the comments below, what should I do?
To what?
Chaos. The created will always rebel against their creators. But we found a way to stop that from happening. A way to restore order.
By wiping out organic life?
No, we harvest advanced civilizations, leaving the younger ones alone. Just as we left your people alive the last time we were here.
But you killed the rest.
We helped them ascend, so they could make way for new life, storing the old life in Reaper form.
Except if this Starbrat was here the entire time, why did he need Sovereign? He could have ordered the Collectors himself.
I think we'd rather keep our own form.
No, you can't. Without us to stop it, synthetics would destroy all organics. We've created the cycle so that never happens.
See, I think this infamous scene would have been a hell of a lot better if it was a hologram of any Reaper, not necessarily a Harbinger, but any Reaper. Or at least make it the hologram of a man. Have a man talking to us, or a woman, just some large adult. Instead, we're being talked down to by a child. That, I do believe, really added kerosene to the big fire of people's hatred against the scene. Because nobody likes being talked down to by a kid. If a kid talks to us this way, we smack him. But here, no, we're not allowed to do anything. We're forced to shut up and listen.
That's the solution.
We're not allowed to win because we said so. Not because we've outsmarted you or we've found an advantage over you, but because simply I said so, therefore you can't win. That's bad villainy.
Now this conversation has been bemoaned for more than 13 years now, and for various reasons, but to me the great
And there you go. Exactly. I've been bemoaning it as well.
conversation has been bemoaned for more than
Without us to stop it, synthetics would destroy all organics. We've created the cycle so that never happens. That's the solution.
Now this conversation has been bemoaned for more than 13 years now, and for various reasons, but to me the greatest issue with the Catalyst is that it, lessens the Reapers. It turns out that in combination with what we know from the Leviathans, the Reapers, or the Catalyst, were working on, faulty parameters. No wonder we couldn't comprehend their reasoning, because their reasoning doesn't even hold water in the first place. Now I don't think the conversation...
Very true. I didn't actually think of that one. Yeah, it's incomprehensible based on how stupid it is. But I still refuse to have the Reapers just have no beginning and have no end, therefore we're killing gods. I prefer the idea that they're robots that were built long ago, went rogue, and killed their creators, and now are killing everybody else, and now we gotta stop the killing. It's as simple as that. I mean, I like that one more. They're robots, somebody built them. Now we're breaking them. Oh dear.
We know from the Leviathans, the Reapers, or the Catalyst, were working on, faulty parameters. No wonder we couldn't comprehend their reasoning, because their reasoning doesn't even hold water in the first place. Now, I don't think the conversation between Shepard and the Catalyst ruins the Reapers entirely. Their mythos is still iconic in my eyes, especially so since the Reapers started out as Lovecraftian unknowable entities. And with what we know of Mass Effect 3's rush production, I think it's safe to say that had BioWare had more time, they probably would have come up with a better explanation for what the Reapers actually were.
I disagree because BioWare threw away their main writer. Drew Karpyshyn and the other guy, I don't remember his name, and many other lesser writers. They all got replaced. The only one that remains is Patrick, and Patrick finally got fired, and yes, his name is still Patrick, and he is still a he. So there, take that.
At any rate, their Reapers are still memorable, so much so that people were incredibly disappointed when Mass Effect Andromeda's main threat, the Ket, reared their ugly mugs. Essentially, the Ket were like a "we've got Reapers at home" type situation. Not as cool, definitely not as scary, and their leader was a cardboard cutout of a Saturday morning cartoon villain. Since then, BioWare's latest outing, Dragon Age the Veilguard, tried to incorporate some aspects of what made the Reapers such memorable villains. Lovecraftian elements, ruthlessness, overwhelming power. But in the end, what people Reapers such memorable villains.
Hold on, what was that?
Lovecraftian
I threw a poor stab
elements,
up there.
ruthlessness, overwhelming power. But in the end, what people remembered will always be this.
Elganon and Gillinane.
The guys from Warhammer?
Elganon and Gillinane.
Now they've escaped.
The elven gods, Elganon and Gillinane, have escaped.
By the way, did you know that the elven gods have escaped? Also, I need to tell you something. The elven gods have escaped.
Despite some
And of course, they're non-binary, which makes the game non-binary, so I'm not going to buy it, which is why I never bought it. It's so shitty that most people aren't even bothering to pirate it.
build up, the elven gods of Dragon Age just didn't hold up. Partly due to weak writing, but also because they were never really solidified as the main overarching bad guys in the first place. That was always just the archdemon, and possibly whatever created the Blight in the first place, which turned out to be the corrupted dreams of Titans, which we find out in Veilguard. But therein lies the problem. Dragon Age never had a consistent main baddie. In one game it was the Archdemon, in others it was Corypheus, in another it was the Elven Gods. There was no ticking time bomb. There was no emotional investment from the...
And that's why I only played the first Dragon Age game, because I realized we're not going to have the same companions anymore, and also we're going to have different villains, and it's, you know, if it's not going to be consistent, I'm not interested. And if it's going to be woke, I especially don't want to be interested, so...
start. There was never that thought of, man, I wonder how we're gonna deal with them. This is gonna be so interesting. What we ended up with were, yet again, forgettable cardboard cutouts of what villains are supposed to be. Not because the concept of the Evanoris is boring and that the gods themselves aren't cool conceptually speaking, but because they ended up being just another obstacle. The final obstacle, to be fair, but still just another faction of generic bad guys. And so, we end up at the title of the video. The next Mass Effect has a villain problem. I'm not saying that to be dramatic. If you've been watching the video up until this point, that notion should be pretty obvious to you. I probably don't even have to explain why. But to put it simply, as we have established, your villain should always be a priority in storytelling. Hell, I'd argue that the villain sometimes takes precedence over the hero. So, after the Reapers and the sheer scale of their objective, how do you lay the groundworks for a new, equally memorable villain? Do you scale back and bring it down to society level, or even a personal level? Do you scale up and make it multiversal? What is the theme behind them? What do they represent?
And that right there is my personal problem with, well, actually there's many personal problems. Good gravy, I can go on forever. But, this is why I wish Cerberus remained an untrustworthy but an ally. Remained an ally, untrustworthy but important ally for the war against the Reapers. And that way, the Reaper War, we focus on the Reapers during Mass Effect 3, and while the entire galaxy was using up its resources fighting the Reapers, Cerberus was secretly building an army of its own out in dark space, from wherever Tim's HQ was located. And then once the Reapers are all destroyed, Cerberus can now launch a full-scale attack against the rest of the galaxy, and despite being a small terrorist organization, he is quite a match to take on the galaxy because he, our forces are depleted. We have no more ammo. We have very few ships left. Our forces have taken a severe beating, and he was starting off afresh. And that would be the main villain for Mass Effect 4, in my opinion. But no, Mass Effect 3 wasted it all. The alternate idea that I thought of would be, we have the Cerberus betrayal. Okay, that's too bad. But the Reaper War, along with Cerberus, is so big that the war has to span 2 games. It starts off at the beginning of the first one and ends at the end of the second one. Because the Reapers, oh dear, there are just so many of them. But instead, they crushed it all into one game, and the Reaper War felt, honestly, very underwhelming by comparison to the first 2 games.
To truly pull this off, the next Mass Effect will quite literally be needing next level writing, because you see, one of the endings can be canonized. As much as some fans will be upset, that'll most likely be the solution to the ending dilemma. But in order to create real stakes here, to create real drive...
How do you even begin to make a sequel, with the Control ending and the... actually, now I can think of it. Shepard becomes evil, and therefore we've got to destroy him. So we got to go hunt down and destroy the person we once were, which frankly feels a bit cliche. It goes back to the 1990s, for crying out loud, with the Vietnam 1 and Vietnam 2 Black Ops games. Before, not the Call of Duty Black Ops, just Vietnam Black Ops, and Vietnam 2 Special Assignment. The first game has you as Flak Johnson, and you have to go and kill a Viet Cong General Pham. And after you come back home, happy ending, except no, because the second game has Flak Johnson defect, and it basically rips off Apocalypse Now. And now you're playing as a new soldier who's got to hunt down and destroy Flak Johnson, therefore, killing your previous self, which is kind of sad and tragic. But, that's the only way I can see Mass Effect 3, or not Mass Effect 3, Mass Effect 4 happening with the Control ending as canon. And of course, the synthesis, I still can't think of how a sequel would work at all, unless there's a virus in our encoding, and so our green glow turns red and we start fighting each other. That'd be really bizarre. And maybe we play as a new character coming in from Dark Space who was taking a vacation and is now back home after it all happened. No, the red ending has to be the only canon one. And I want Shepard back. I will not accept playing another character. Scott Ryder sucked. And we'll talk about that later. But, I want Shepard back. I want him to have his happy ending. I don't want his girlfriend, new wife, to be lonely.
A vehicle to push the story forward, you need a truly great villain. And for a new chapter of Mass Effect, this needs to be a priority. With Andromeda and Veilguard, it's understandable that lots of fans are expecting more of the same, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm concerned too. On the other hand, the next Mass Effect is being made by a different team with a different lead, and so chances are that they will indeed be able to pull it off.
Just by looking at their faces, I have a bad feeling that they're gonna royally screw this up. Ugh. Let's see.
By different...
That's got Karen written all over her. Mary de Marale. Hardest gameplay. Study files. So you're a cat lady. Boxed wine in Catland. Yeah, in the trailer, I don't like the super skinny person. Is it going to be a guy that drinks lots of soy, like Scott Ryder? Because, yeah. And that, of course, that trench coat. I've grown to hate trench coats due to the bad marketing they've been associated with, such as the Battlefield 5 game. Oh boy. But anyway, yeah, so I didn't know what to expect from this video, and unfortunately I expected, and it was subverted. It was not about Cerberus hijacking the villain role and thus depriving Harbinger of his moment of glory, and why Mass Effect 4 will suffer for it because of that. And of course, a shout out to my friend Veyron. He absolutely wants his blue babies with Liara, and if they don't let him play as Shepard anymore, that's not going to be acceptable.
This needs to be a priority. With Andromeda
The fact that Liara has visible crow's feet, that bothers me.
and Veilguard, it's understandable that lots of fans are expecting more of the same, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm concerned too. On the other hand, the next Mass Effect is being made by a different team with a different lead, and so chances are that they will indeed be...
So, Mako enthusiast, I love to drive the more challenging. I am torn between the Mako and the Hammerhead, honestly. I mean, I love how maneuverable the Hammerhead is. It's got also a better gun as well, the missile launcher. But at the same time, I want the heavy armor of the Mako. So, yeah.
be able to pull it off. At any rate, what I've been trying to say with this video is quite simple. My message, if you will, is simply that focusing on the plot itself and the endless possibilities of where the story might be going, it might be just too much to chew off. Start with the villain, their goals, what drives them, what they represent, what is their relation to the protagonist, and then you simply go from there.
Unfortunately, Mass Effect BioWare was way too focused on trying to insert their political propaganda and creating the new multiplayer to wisely spend the 1 year they had on writing something good.
But that's just what I think. So as always, do let me know what you think in the comments below. This has been Mr. Holton, signing off.
I will do you the common courtesy, and I will include a link to your original video in the comment section below, or in the damn, I'm stuck for words. But then again, I'm the stuttering gamer. I am no good at this sort of thing. I should probably take other people's advice and have an AI speak for me, but I think that would be cheating. It doesn't feel like as heartfelt, in my honest opinion. In the description below, yeah, I'll include a link. Anyway, please hit the like button on his video and on my video and share them around, and let's help us grow and make Mass Effect great again. Have a good day.